In this video, we're going to be interviewing my client, Delonis. Now, Delonis told me that she came into the program with some prior experience. She said in 2023, it took her 6 months to hit a total of $10,000 in revenue. Once she joined the Wholesale Underground, it took her 45 days to hit her first $10,000 month on the platform. 6 months of doing it on her own, trying to piece everything together, trying to watch all these YouTube videos, trying to just figure things out. And then 45 days of a custom game plan, a proven blueprint, and some one-on-one attention that I offer in my mentorship program. And that's all that she needed to really propel her forward. Guys, a lot of people reach out to me. A lot of you guys watching this have reached out to me in the past. You tell me, I have a basic idea, but I'm not able to put all the pieces together. I've watched endless YouTube videos and I'm not able to really get any luck with finding products. I've joined this course and this mentor and all of these things, and it's not working out for me. Guys, we already have a proven blueprint that is producing clients left and right in record time. I'm showcasing them on this channel, and I showcase them almost every single day on my Instagram. Proven blueprint is here. Watch this interview. You're going to resonate with Delonis a lot. Hopefully you guys enjoy it.
So basically, to give you a little bit of my background, I spent like 15 years working in banking. I always knew that I wanted to have my own business. And it was like people used to ask me, what kind of business? I was like, I have no idea. So one day I was like, you know what? I'll do real estate. So I got my license. I started doing real estate. That didn't work out too much because at that time I was working, and it's kind of like real estate is like, it takes a lot of your time. So this past year, well, no, in 2022, I started having that idea of a business again. So I was like, but I don't know what. It was funny because after COVID, I started having like a lot of like stress and a bunch of, mental things. So I went to see a therapist, and that therapist, I was talking to her about starting my business, that I always wanted to do that I always, have that inside me. Something was calling my name. And then she's like, okay, let's do a meditation about that. During that meditation, I remembered that back in like, I want to say 2010, 2009, something like that, I was going to college and I was selling books on Amazon. Let me see if that works. Well, next thing you know, I went on YouTube. I started looking on information about, how to sell books, if that works. So that's how I started it. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe the amount of information that I was able to find there. So I started doing, at that time, I had a full-time job. So I started looking for books, asking people for books, send them into Amazon. By mid-August, well, it took me about 6 months selling books to reach my 10K, my first 10K. I was like over the moon. I was like, oh my God, this is working. So I started digging for more information, and I found you. I found other couple of people with the FBA, selling more products, ungating on more brands. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that you could do that. Every person that I speak to about FBA selling on Amazon, they have no idea, which is like
Yeah.
crazy. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And then, of course, I was questioning myself. I'm like, this is a lot of money. I started looking at your videos. I was like, oh my God. So on Gate, on Nike, let's say that will be a lot of money. Oh my God. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I don't care about what other people say. I don't care about how many times I have to try to send the invoice in. I'm going to do it. So first thing, I got the first invoice. It was approved like within seconds. I was like, oh my God, this is like opening the doors. And after that, I got details. I got other ones. I got other ones, other ones. And it was like, oh my God. It got to the point that I was like, you know what? I need more organization per se. I need to follow, because I felt like I was like all over the place. So I was like, I need to find a program, or I need to find the person that I have some kind of connection to, or I have, that I feel like that person is going to guide me. And I remember one of your videos, you were talking about mindset and how people think about it too much and don't do anything, or look for too much information and end up without doing anything, just scrolling down and wasting time. So I was like, you know what, this is my calling. So that was the video that made me decide to go with you. And I remember I asked you a couple of questions on Instagram and you responded right away. And I was like, you know what? Yes, I'm gonna go with him.
It's funny you say that about the mindset videos and stuff, but even just going back to what you said earlier, where nobody really knows what FBA is, and then you wanted to dive into it, and you're like, no matter what, even if it's hard, even if I don't get approved, whatever it is, it's like I'm gonna do it, and it's like that mentality is missing in so many people, and
Mhm.
that's the mentality that you need when you're gonna start a business, because it's like people think like they either think this business is gonna be impossible, or they think if this business isn't up and running in 24 hours, then it doesn't work, and it's like no, like you got to come into it with like I'm gonna make it work no matter what. And usually
Mhm.
the people that do that are the ones that make it work. And
Yeah.
just to give like the people watching the context, it's like I asked Delonis to come on here because she hit 10K in a 30-day period. But earlier you said it took you 6 months to hit your first 10K. I think in the we talked back and forth, and I think you said in 2023 you did 23,000 in sales, right? All of
Yeah.
2023. The first month you go and hit your 10K month, right? So it's like
Mhm.
what changed, or what do you think was the driving factor to help you get there?
I started looking more into like learning Kipa. I remember watching one of your videos about Kipa product finder, and I was like, huh, and it went from there. Even to ungate things, I go to my Kipa product finder and I find my 10 products that I need.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I don't make a lot of money, but I get my money back and I make, let's say, $5, $3, whatever it is. I'm happy with that. Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I'm not losing any money. So
Yeah.
when I started taking your classes, I went deep on Keepa. I went deep on, product finding. I went deep on right now I'm actually going back to the wholesale because that's my end goal. I want to do
Mm-hmm.
wholesale. So actually today I was rewatching some of your videos about that. And that's the point. I believe when you have a business, everything in life, you have to keep learning. You have to, get the information that you need. If you have doubts, just ask. If rewatch the videos, if you have to like 10 times, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
take some notes. And that's what I was doing. Don't waste any time. Like my kids, even my kids make fun of me because driving in my car, I'm listening,
Mm-hmm.
listening to videos. Hey, maybe I'm not paying attention 100%, but it's going in the back of my
It's
head.
going in exactly,
So,
exactly.
so I'm like, I'm not wasting any time. At that time, I was like working, I was like watching videos. My husband was like, how many times you're gonna watch the same videos? I'm like, I don't care. I need to get this.
You're talking about stuff that's like right up my alley. This is the stuff that I love to talk about. But
Mhm.
so essentially, the way I call it effective consistency, what you just described. So it's like we're being consistent, but we're learning, we're evolving, we're adding new things, new skills. It's like the problem that people run into is like even the consistent people. It's like, well, I kind of understand, so I'm just gonna do what I kind of understand, and it doesn't work out. But with you, it's like okay, I understand it, but let me go back and make sure I really understand it. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm implementing, I hit my first 10K, but let me go back and see what I missed and see what I can improve on. So you're always growing. So then
Mhm.
that's effective consistency, and that's how you win. That's how you grow. That's how you build a business really quickly compared to other people who are, oh, I kind of understand, and then they implement and then they're like, oh, this doesn't work. And it's like, no, you just stopped learning, you stopped growing.
Mhm.
But I
Yep.
want to ask you what got you to join the program specifically. What was it? Because I know you said you found a bunch of people online. You were already
Mhm.
selling, so it's like, what specifically made you want to come work with us?
With you, like I said, I asked you a couple of questions on Instagram and you responded right away. And then some of the videos that you have on YouTube, you're very specific and it sounds like you know what you're talking about. And everything that you said is like, that's how it works. So I was like, I have to partner with this guy somehow. And again, you offer the wholesale part, which is like really deep in the course. And that's what I wanted to be. That's what I wanted to know.
Mhm.
That's what I wanted to learn. So since you offer that, that's why I decided to work with you.
Yeah, and that's the benefit of having both, right? So I
Mhm.
teach you everything you need to know about arbitrage. It's like, but there's steps, right? Where yeah, you
Mhm.
can do arbitrage forever, or you can learn arbitrage, get the benefits from it, grow your money, and then what's the next step? And it's like the program has that, right? So it's like we stop here,
Mhm.
and then we go here, and then that's where we really grow and we really scale. So
Of course, and before you jump to wholesale, because we're talking about like more investments, right?
mhm,
You have to know Kipa, you have to know, how fast the product sells, you have to know, the margin, you have to know every single thing that you can. I think it's faster to learn it while you do arbitrage, because
yes.
I was doing a lot of retail, because I felt like, okay, I have the product right here, I can see it, I have the photo, I have to, like, I don't have to go back and forth. At the beginning it was harder for me to do online because it was like, oh my god, go on Amazon, check variations and check these, check the little
Mhm.
details, and I'm very like, I want to say that I'm not a risk taker when it comes to, I don't care. I have to have every single details, So I was doing a lot of retail. I still learning. But I felt 100% confident when I was buying at the store, and then I moved a little. So now I'm doing like 50-50.
Yeah, and they're different skill sets, right? So like you
Mhm.
said with reach arbitrage, it's like, okay, how does it look right now? But we're not like, oh, let me look at past Keepa, let me look at the sellers. It's like, how's it doing right now? And then
Yeah.
yeah, with arbitrage, it's like, okay, we need to really be able to learn how to do the data. But going back to kind of some mindset stuff with what you just said, it's like, yes, we need to get the skills of arbitrage before we kind of grow into wholesale, but even just the mental wins like that you get from being able to start much faster, right? Like a lot of people will go straight into wholesale, which is fine too, but it takes a little bit longer for you to get those wins. With
Mhm.
arbitrage, let's say you decide I'm going to go with arbitrage today. You could get those first wins today. If you go to the store, you buy something, you FBM it, it's like win. Like you're just getting a bunch of wins and then you're starting to really believe, okay, this works. So
Right.
that's another like mental benefit of like, let's start here, let's start a little bit smaller, and then let's move up to those bigger and bigger orders with wholesale. I wanted to ask you, what was the biggest challenge that you were running into before you joined the program?
Finding products online. It was like insane. It was like taking me forever. Like I was working until 5 and then spending a little bit of time with my family. And then from 8 to 11, 12 in the morning, I was like looking for products. I was like, everything was like running out of stocks. I couldn't like find sales anywhere. I was afraid of clicking on websites that I didn't trust. So I was running through all of that. Since your program, I feel like I became a little bit better at those little things. Especially when you said, oh, you have to like look into the company, you have to make sure the website's legit. I was afraid of all of that. Now I'm a little bit more open after your program. I'm a little bit more open into like looking at, okay, contact information, this, the
Yeah.
PayPal, cashback. Okay, seems legit. Like I feel more confidence when it comes to online.
Yeah, that's a big point that you talk about is like knowing how to, because we talk a lot about vetting suppliers with
Mhm.
wholesale, but people don't really talk about vetting websites with arbitrage, right? Like it's like, oh, let's
Mhm.
just buy from anywhere. And it's like, no, like there's fake scamming websites just like there's fake scamming suppliers. It's like that's why we
Mhm.
have to do that research. Did you find that the product research or the product sourcing frameworks, like the whole big layout, did that seem to help you kind of put the pieces together? Because I was having when I first started doing product research, I was having a hard time as well. So then when I really got the hang of it, I was like, okay, let me like create a whole framework where it's like step one, step two, step three. You can go here or you can go here. Did that seem to help you quite a bit?
Yes, yes. And something else that helped me a lot was the ranking that you have. You have like a PDF that you can save and see the different ranking for products like beauty, groceries, and household. I love that. I was like, oh my God, that was like a game changer for me. Because people talk about BCR. I'm like, okay, how do I know? And then you touch on looking at when the sellers are out of stock. That part I love too. I was like, oh my God, I never look at these before. That
Yeah, there's so
changed
many.
my game.
Yeah, there's so many little tricks and little things in there that I never really talk about on YouTube or anything like that. But that's good.
Right.
That's good that it's helping you. For people watching this right now, they're on the fence about joining the program. Would you recommend the program? What do you have to say to them? What are your thoughts?
Yes, I would recommend it 100% because again, it's like a guide. You don't have to go back and forth looking for videos and this and that. You start from the beginning, you end, and you're gonna have all the information that you need to just start. And not only the information, the confidence, you're gonna, change your mindset when it comes to like, because we're all afraid of something, right? But when you have all the information, all the guides step by step, okay, understand when you have an understanding of how things work and you have that, it's like easy. Step one, step two, step three, and go from there. There is no limits. And
Yeah.
I feel like the program helped me with that. So I would recommend it 100%. And again, the communication is really good. Any questions that I ever had, like I believe we are in different time zones. Sometimes it takes you a little longer. Sometimes you respond right away. But I feel like, okay, maybe it's too early because I remember sending you a question like at 9 in the morning. And then I'm like, maybe it's 3 hours difference. But you responded at 11, which is like 9 here. So I was like, that's what it is. So I like that about your program too. Like you respond to everything. Like we need it. We need that when we are starting the business. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the biggest things. And for me, it's like I've been in a lot of those groups. I know I've said this before, but it's like I've been in a lot of those, group Zooms for different coaching programs and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, I need somebody that I can ask questions every day, right? And it's like it's not instant, right? I'm not like as soon as you send, I'm gonna respond. But like you said, I'm like I respond every single day. I'm like checking my messages so many times a day, just always answering questions. And I think it's so beneficial. And it's like people don't realize it. It's like you run into any problem any day of the week, and it's like we can solve that problem. Or you run into a problem, well, now I have to wait until Thursday's group Zoom call and be on there with 20, 30, 50 other people and hopefully I get it, right? It's like, no, we can solve all your problems in the DMs right away. So that
Right.
helps a lot. So I'm glad that helped you a lot. Now, if you want to be a part of the one-on-one mentorship program that I do offer that's helping my clients go from 0 to their first 10K per month in record time, you're going to want to click that first link in the description. It's going to give you all of the details that you need to know. But keep in mind, guys, this is true one-on-one coaching. I am helping you personally, no VAs, nothing like that. I'm not throwing you into a group and you're hoping for the best. I'm not telling you to show up to busy Zoom calls and hoping that your question gets answered. This is true one-on-one mentorship, and that's why my clients get results just like all of these that I'm flashing on screen right now in record time. So with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the interview, and I will see you guys in the next one.